You're unwell.
Call the doctor.
The movie begins with a haunting view of Earth, a planet destroyed by its own sun. About 10 years ago, a massive solar flare erupted from the sun and ripped through the ozone layer, the thin shield that once protected Earth from deadly ultraviolet radiation. Without that layer, the sun's heat became unbearable, and global temperatures shot up to around 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Plants, animals, and humans couldn't survive the intense rays. Oceans dried up, cities turned to dust, and violent storms swept across the planet. In this broken world lives this man, Finch. He is one of the few survivors left. Before the disaster, Finch was a robotics engineer, a man who worked with machines and technology. Now he uses that knowledge to stay alive. Every day he wears a protective suit that shields him from the deadly UV rays as he searches for food and supplies. At the start, we see him scavenging inside an abandoned store with his small helper robot Dewey following closely behind.
Can you teach me to dance?
Inside the store, Finch's instruments show that radiation levels are dangerously high.
Reginald.
Dewey quietly moves through the dusty aisles, picking up whatever's left, while Finch grabs a few cans of dog food. Anything edible is precious in this world. Before leaving, Finch marks the store's entrance with paint, a simple system he uses to track where he's already searched. This man has learned to plan carefully, because in this world, one careless mistake can mean death. Driving through what used to be a city, Finch passes empty streets and ruined buildings. Everything looks lifeless, burned by the relentless sun. The destruction we see around him is a direct result of the ozone layer's collapse, which made it impossible for people to survive outside. That's why most of the population either fled underground or died years ago. But suddenly, Finch's suit begins to beep. A storm is coming. These storms are not ordinary. They're massive walls of dust, heat, and wind that can destroy anything in their path. Finch quickly turns his truck around and slams on the accelerator, trying to escape. The storm grows bigger, chasing him like a monster across the wasteland. Just in time, he makes it back to his underground laboratory, once owned by the same robotics company he worked for before the world ended. Inside his bunker, the atmosphere changes. It's quiet, filled with old machines, screens, and tools. But this man isn't just surviving. He's fighting against time. We soon learn that Finch is dying from tuberculosis, a lung disease that's slowly killing him. He's weak and often coughs blood, but he keeps going because of one reason: his loyal dog, Goodyear.
Just a scratch you.
For Finch, Goodyear isn't just a pet, he's family. He shares the little food he found with the dog, while he himself only drinks a small amount to stay alive. Supplies are getting scarce, and Finch knows his time is running out. Later that night, we see Finch working in his lab. With the help of an AI system, he begins programming a new robot. He's uploading instructions like how to feed a dog, how to clean, and how to survive.
Giant leap for Finch Weinberg.
This isn't just another invention. Finch is building a caretaker, someone who can look after Goodyear when he's gone. It's both brilliant and heartbreaking. To bring his new robot to life, Finch removes Dewey's eyes and connects them to the new machine.
New ones, I promise. It'll be worth it. One small step for man.
He then starts transferring massive amounts of data, everything the robot needs to know about the world and about Goodyear. After several failed tests, something finally happens. The robot nods its head, showing that it understands. Finch smiles for the first time in a long while. He's created something that can learn. The robot introduces himself with a calm mechanical voice, explaining his main rules. He must never harm humans. And most importantly, in Finch's absence, he must take care of Goodyear at all costs.
Directive.
Fourth directive. In Finch's absence, robot must protect the welfare of dog.
Before they can celebrate, the power suddenly goes out. Without hesitation, Finch puts on his protective gear and climbs to the surface to repair the wind turbine. Despite his illness, he connects the cables and restores power to his lab. When he comes back, the robot has chosen a name for himself: Jeff. Soon after, Jeff detects something alarming. 4 massive storms heading their way. They're too powerful to survive underground and could last for over 40 days. Realizing he can't stay here any longer, Finch decides they must leave immediately. He plans to travel across the country toward San Francisco, hoping it might be safer there. Finch finishes assembling Jeff's full body and begins transferring more data, teaching him how to walk and act like a human.
Walking in place. 1, 2, 1, 2. This is walking. 2, 1, 2. Walk to me.
1, 2, 1, 2. Finch.
Jeff stumbles at first, moving awkwardly like a child, but with Finch's guidance, he learns. As the storm draws closer, Finch quickly packs the essentials into a large RV. The data transfer only reaches 72%, meaning Jeff's mind isn't fully complete, but there's no time left. Finch reattaches Dewey's camera so the small robot can see again, and together, this man, his dog, and his 2 robots drive off into the unknown. On the road, Jeff is endlessly curious, asking questions and observing everything. For now, they've managed to escape the storm. They stop in a deserted town where Finch teaches Jeff how to scavenge and warns him about the dangers of sunlight. For a brief, rare moment, they even share a laugh, using the burning heat of the sun to pop popcorn in a pan.
Finch, do you think this is safe to eat? Again.
But their fun doesn't last long. Another storm is forming on the horizon. Finch quickly gathers everyone back into the RV and races to escape, but this one catches up to them. In the chaos, Finch gets out with Jeff to tie the RV down with thick metal cables before the wind rips it apart.
You can do this.
Exhausted and coughing, Finch struggles, but Jeff takes over and finishing the job with strength and precision. After securing the RV, this man, Finch, braces himself as a massive tornado hits. The wind roars like an angry beast, and one by one, the heavy steel wires holding the RV begin to snap. Everything shakes violently, and it seems like the storm might tear them apart, until finally, it passes. Silence returns. Everyone is safe. Finch, breathing heavily, looks at Jeff and nods with pride. But his relief fades when he notices the front tire of the RV is badly damaged. They have a spare tire, but there's one problem. No jack to lift the vehicle.
No jack.
Without hesitation, Jeff steps forward. Using his sheer robotic strength, he lifts the RV by himself, telling Finch to replace the tire. Finch is stunned. His creation has become stronger than he imagined. The next morning, Jeff tries to bond with Goodyear, the dog. He kneels down and says he's trying to learn the dog's language. Goodyear just growls softly, still not trusting him. Finch wakes up and chuckles, telling Jeff that it'll take time. Trust isn't built overnight. Later that day, Jeff calculates the distance left to San Francisco, 1,522 miles. Along the way, he asks Finch what trust really means. The question makes Finch pause. After a moment, he shares a personal story. He explains how, before the world ended, he once solved a complicated software problem all by himself. But instead of taking all the credit, he shared it with his team. That's how he earned their trust. As he speaks, his voice weakens. His illness is getting worse. He's coughing more and his face is pale. After hours of travel, they stop near an abandoned restaurant. Finch steps outside, but suddenly vomits blood. He wipes his mouth and realizes his time is running short. Still, he doesn't want to show weakness in front of Jeff or Goodyear. He takes Goodyear inside the restaurant, trying to play with him, creating one last moment of joy. Meanwhile, Jeff stays outside, curious as always. He tries to drive the RV while listening to old songs, but accidentally releases the handbrake. The RV rolls forward and crashes into a nearby car. When Finch rushes out, Jeff acts innocent, pretending nothing happened. Then, trying to fix his mistake, Jeff reverses and crashes into the same car again.
Come here.
Finch, now angry, steps into the sunlight to show Jeff the burns forming instantly on his exposed skin. He screams at him, reminding Jeff of his one true purpose, to take care of Goodyear after Finch is gone. Later, calmer now, Finch decides to teach Jeff properly. He teaches him how to drive the RV. Jeff is clumsy at first, jerking the wheel and stopping too hard, but after a while, he gets the hang of it.
Just keep it steady. Under 50. Good, yeah.
Apprentice.
Okay.
San Francisco, here we come.
That night, they camp by the roadside. Above them, the northern lights glow beautifully, a side effect of the damaged ozone layer. Jeff stares in awe. He suggests they could travel at night since daylight is dangerous, but Finch warns him that nighttime brings other dangers. Desperate, hungry people who attack to survive. The next morning, Finch's health worsens. He's coughing blood again and shaking from fever. Jeff tends to him gently, asking if he should call a doctor, though they both know no doctors are left. They continue their journey until they reach a large, ruined city. Finch, too weak to move, falls asleep in the RV. Jeff and Dewey decide to scavenge for supplies. They find an abandoned hospital. To Jeff, it looks untouched, but it's actually been looted long ago. When Finch wakes up and sees the robots are gone, he panics. Despite his sickness, he suits up and sets out to find them. He knows that cities aren't safe anymore. Someone could be watching them. Inside the hospital, Jeff happily finds food, medicine, and even a nice jacket for himself. Dewey, on the other hand, finds a few snacks on the ground but fails to see the bear trap lying nearby. When he reaches for the food, snap! The trap crushes him instantly. Moments later, Finch finds Dewey's broken body. His heart breaks. He kneels beside him, apologizes softly, and powers him down for the last time. Dewey wasn't just a machine. He was Finch's loyal friend. Suddenly, Finch hears a noise. He finds Jeff, and the two quickly realize they can't stay there any longer. Something or someone is nearby. Despite his weakness, Finch forces himself to keep moving. They run back to the RV, start it up, and speed away. But trouble follows. A mysterious vehicle appears behind them, tailing them through the empty roads. Finch hands the wheel to Jeff, telling him not to make any mistakes. Jeff turns off the headlights. His robotic eyes can see in the dark, while the other car continues chasing them. As the tension builds, Finch tells Jeff to accelerate. They're heading into another storm. Finch grabs the wheel and steers the RV toward an underpass, thinking it might give them cover. Jeff warns that the RV is too tall to fit, but Finch insists. Moments later, crash! The top of the RV slams into the bridge, destroying their solar panels.
With the recent customizations of the vehicle.
After the impact, Jeff pushes the RV through with his strength while the pursuing car stops, waits for a moment, and then drives away. When Finch steps out to assess the damage, he realizes all the panels, their main power source, are ruined. He blames himself, feeling like his bad judgment has doomed them. Jeff tries to comfort him, saying they can still make it to San Francisco, but Finch snaps at him to be quiet. He's exhausted, sick, and hopeless. He goes back inside while Jeff stands in the rain, motionless. After a while, Jeff re-enters the RV and quietly tells Finch that they're close, only a few hundred miles from the Golden Gate Bridge. His optimism brings a small smile to Finch's face. That night, Finch opens up more. He tells Jeff why he doesn't trust people anymore. He explains how he once saw a group of hungry survivors murder a woman and her child inside a supermarket. He admits that he hid in fear instead of helping, something that has haunted him ever since. He also tells the story of how he found Goodyear, a frightened puppy hiding inside a bag, and how he promised never to abandon him again. The next morning, a road sign reads 480 miles to San Francisco. Jeff is driving while Finch rests, weak but peaceful. Suddenly, Jeff notices something beautiful. A butterfly lands on the windshield. He stops the RV and wakes Finch up. When Finch steps outside, he raises his hand toward the sunlight. And this time, the sun doesn't burn him. The radiation has dropped. He laughs in disbelief, feeling warm sunlight on his skin for the first time in years. Flowers bloom nearby, and butterflies flutter around. The earth, it seems, is slowly healing. Later, Finch puts on clean clothes, and they stop for a picnic in the sun, something he hasn't done in over a decade. He shares stories from his past, wishing he had lived differently. Jeff excitedly says that if they leave now, they can reach the Golden Gate Bridge in about 18 hours. But Finch shakes his head. He knows he won't make it that far. He sits beside Jeff and gently says that his time has come. He asks Jeff to promise to take care of Goodyear.
To do what's right for Goodyear.
Then, with a weak smile, Finch picks up a ball and plays fetch with Goodyear one last time.
Oh. You try it.
He hands the ball to Jeff, explaining that this is how trust begins, one throw at a time.
Yeah, you throw it.
Where's your ball? Where's your ball? Is this your ball?
Throw the ball.
After a few happy moments, Finch begins coughing blood again. His suit turns red as he collapses. Jeff rushes to him, asking how he can help, but Finch tells him softly that he already has. Jeff holds Finch's hand, and they share a final hug. Jeff's robotic eyes flicker with emotion. The machine has learned to feel. Finch lies down in the RV beside Goodyear. The dog curls up next to him. A few moments later, this man, Finch, passes away peacefully, leaving behind his loyal companions. The next day, Jeff and Goodyear bury Finch's body in a quiet field under the open sky. They burn his UV suit as a symbol of the world he once fought to survive. After mourning, Jeff takes over Finch's routine, feeding Goodyear and caring for him. Slowly, the dog starts to trust him. Together, they continue their journey to San Francisco. When they finally reach the Golden Gate Bridge, Jeff builds a small memorial for Finch. There, he finds messages left by other survivors, signs that humanity might still exist somewhere. In the final scene, Jeff draws a picture of Finch, Goodyear, and himself, placing it on the fence of the bridge. He looks out over the horizon as Goodyear sits beside him. The world may have fallen apart, but thanks to Finch, a spark of love, loyalty, and hope still remains. Thanks for watching. If you love movie recaps like this, make sure to subscribe for more.